You love the original trilogy with a burning passion. You went to war over The Last Jedi. Now get ready for a completely new kind of Star Wars movie. One you'll forget by the time you're home from the theater. Solo, a Star Wars story.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, that did come out this year, didn't it? After Disney reshot half of their first Star Wars story because they didn't like what the director did, watch them hand the keys to an exciting new creative team, then reshoot even more of the movie because they didn't like what the directors did.
You're touchy.
Resulting in a mixed bag that wasn't exactly great, but wasn't exactly terrible.
Sure.
And if that's how Disney plans to bring balance to the Force, just Sith me up, fam. Prepare for a feature-length adaptation of Han Solo's Wikipedia page in a film that's less a Han Solo character study and more of an origin story for all of Han Solo's accessories, like his gun, his ship,
The Millennium Falcon.
the little notch in his ship,
What are you doing? That's the escape pod!
his favorite comeback,
I hate you. Oh no.
and of course, his iconic dice.
Dice?
Since when were the dice such a big
Exactly.
deal? It was just a silly background prop. Not everything needs an explanation.
I don't have people. I'm alone.
Solo.
No one asked for this. Gear up with Alden Ehrenreich, a good young actor stuck with the thankless job of playing a young Harrison Ford.
I waited a long time for a shot like this. I'm not about to screw it up, all right?
He'll add new dimensions to the selfish outlaw pilot we met in New Hope by showing us he was never much of an outlaw.
You are the good guy.
True.
And he was never really that selfish.
Damn it.
But boy, did he have a hard-on for being a pilot.
I'm gonna be a pilot.
I'm gonna be a pilot. I swore to myself I'd become a pilot.
I'm a great pilot.
I'll be your co-pilot.
We've already got the pilot.
Okay, he wants to be a pilot. We get it already. Anything else? What was his dad like?
He wanted to be a pilot.
Never mind. Let's
Forget
just go
it.
back to learning about his accessories. Where'd he get that vest? Strap in as Han joins a gang of even scruffier nerf herders, like Chewbacca, who eats people now? Beckett, who acts a lot like Woody Harrelson if he got trapped in a Star Wars movie. Kira, who's working for Paul Bettany, but really working with Han, but really working with Darth Maul? You can't triple cross a double cross. You can't triple cross a double cross. Val, the coolest new Star Wars character in you. Never mind. Lando, the Star Wars story we'd all rather see, except for that part where he's clearly having sex with his droid.
Yeah, there was that part.
That works.
And L337, who is either an SJW or an offensive satire of wokeness, depending on which part of the internet you like to scream at. When Han Solo is the blandest character in your Han Solo movie, you've got a problem.
I'm hot.
Pretty much.
Nobody cares.
Did you want a darker take on the Star Wars franchise? Well, you've got it. Because this one is so dark, it's hard to see what's happening. Whether the action is hidden in deep blues, muted browns, a kind of drab olive, or Taco Bell beef orange? By the time your eyes adjust, you'll realize everyone in the galaxy is lit like they're in witness protection. Oh, cool. There's the Falcon, I think. Man, this movie is literally the dark side.
Oh my God.
So catch the first flop of the Disney Star Wars era that froze all the other standalone projects in carbonite, but gave fans a sense of how Han became the character we all know and love by going through the events of Solo. Then at some point off camera before A New Hope, becoming the character we all know and love.
Beckett said he heard
Off
about this
camera.
very big gangster putting together a job.
So what was the point of this movie again? Starring
I don't know.
Lone Star, Harry and the Harrelsons, White Man Can't Jump to Light Speed, Khaleesi, the sentient being trapped inside the Falcon? Yikes. 6 seasons and a Wookiee? I want Tandy. Name this character. You can't, can you? Pirates of the Corellian, Samus Aran.
Terrace Kasi.
That crappy PlayStation game is canon now.
Knockout.
Half the mall I used to be.
Oh,
and
wow.
Disney, every time they fire a director in the middle of a production.
I got a really good feeling about this.
Cowboy Beeflop.
Oh, wow.
Solo.
You know, if Solo isn't his birth name, why did he give it to his kid? And then name him after Luke's hermit friend who he knew for like a day maybe? No wonder he tossed him off that bridge.
It's the 90s. Welcome back, it's the year 1995, and I'm here with our time-traveling reporter. Hello, hi. Now, you just got back from 2018, where they released a movie called Solo: A Star Wars Story. That's right, although I'm not sure they actually say the word colon out loud. Oh, so still no loud colons in 2018? Silent colons all around. Well, let's hope we get some loud ones one day. I'm not sure why you'd want that. Now, Return of the Jedi came out in 1983, so why suddenly make a Han Solo movie 35 years later? Actually, it's like the 7th Star Wars movie they make after Return of the Jedi. What? Yeah, kinda seems like overkill, but people seem to like it. How do you even make that many Star Wars movies? Well, in 1999, they start a trilogy where Darth Vader is a little boy growing up. I gotta say, I hate the sound of that. Yeah, most people seem to not like it very much, but they keep making more. Well, Disney actually buys Lucasfilm in 2012, so they start popping out new Star Wars movies. What are those about? Well, they start a new trilogy that takes place years after Return of the Jedi, like Han and Leia have a kid who's evil. I guess that's kind of cool. Yeah, and like Han's son kills him. Whoa, spoiler alert. I wouldn't worry about that. You die in 2004. Oh, okay, good. Wait, what? Disney also starts making anthology films where they take a random element from the original trilogy and dive into way too much detail about it. What do you mean? Well, they make one called Rogue One that's all about stealing the Death Star plans before the start of A New Hope, and people go watch that? They do. It seemed like a pretty obvious cash grab. Yeah, people seem to like obvious cash grabs in the future, like it costs real money to level up your characters in video games. What? Yeah, the future is dumb. Sounds really dumb. So anyway, they make a movie about a young Han Solo that's about how he gets the Millennium Falcon and stuff. Seems like something we really don't need to know about him. Well, pretty much the entire movie's dedicated to answering all the questions that nobody was asking. And you said that Disney bought Lucasfilm? Oh yeah, Disney is even more of a powerhouse in the future. How so? Well, they're making a bunch of money remaking their old animated films. Remaking them? Yeah, like that Lion King movie that came out last year because it's currently 1995. Oh yeah, I enjoyed watching that last year. It's 1995 now. Well, they're remaking it, but with computer-generated graphics. Why would anyone pay to see that? I don't know, but they definitely will because the future's dumb. Wow. And Disney basically owns everything. I mean, I was there for 3 weeks and they made me 3 offers for the story rights to my life. Seriously. Yeah, and I finally gave in. I figured why not. So they're gonna make a whole movie about some unimportant detail about you? Yeah, so Time-Traveling Reporter Guy, the movie, comes out in 2020, and it's all about how I got these glasses. Very unnecessary. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. Solo: A Star Wars Story comes out in 2018, even though nobody asked for it. Something horrible happens in 2004, and Star Wars is the franchise with the most movies ever. Actually, there's something called the Marvel Cinematic Universe that pops out 19 movies in 10 years. Holy shit. So you have a Star Wars script for me? Yes, sir, I do. And this one's all about a young Han Solo. Sounds kind of unnecessary. Well, look at it this way. Aren't all movies unnecessary? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I'm sold. Great. So what happens in the movie? Like well, Han lives on this planet Corellia, and he's basically a slave for a giant evil worm crime boss, Lady Proxima. Oh, wow, she sounds interesting. Yeah, super interesting. So she's barely gonna be in it. Oh, yeah, Han's gonna expose her to sunlight, and she's gonna burn and go back into the sewers. But how does a giant worm that can't be exposed to sunlight run a crime syndicate from the sewers? I have so many questions. Well, that's too bad, because we're moving on. All right, then. So anyway, Han's gonna try to escape with his girlfriend Kira, but they're gonna get separated. Bummer. Yeah, and he's gonna join the Imperial Army so he can become a pilot and go back and save her. Well, that's nice of him. And so that's how he's gonna get his name. What? The guy who signs him up into the army is like, do you have a people? And Han's like, no. So the guy's like, okay, let's just say your last name is Solo, because you're alone. So Han Solo wasn't his real name? Nope, and now everybody's gonna know how he got it. I just assumed that was his name, so I don't feel any different now that I know. Yeah, well, it's an origin story, so I kind of made my way through the stuff we kind of know about him and provided specific explanations for all of them. Once again, that seems unnecessary. You're unnecessary. That makes me feel inferior, and now I feel like I need your approval, so keep going. Great. So we're also gonna provide some backstory on Han's golden dice. Han has dice? Yeah, you could kind of see them in the original trilogy, and they show up in The Last Jedi. Oh, well, I guess I didn't realize they were that important. They weren't really, but we're gonna provide some backstory for them that's gonna blow people's minds. Oh yeah? Yeah, so they're like a good luck charm or something. Okay, so yeah, that's that's what they are. Once again, I don't feel any different now that I know that. We're also gonna explain how Han got his blaster. Oh, how did that happen? Someone gave it to him. Right, that makes sense. And we're also gonna explain why he calls Chewbacca Chewie. Oh, why is that? Because he thinks Chewbacca is too long to say. I feel like we had all figured that out on our own already. Well, we're gonna spell it out. Well, okay then. So anyway, then Han's gonna be in the Imperial Army for 3 years. Wow, Han Solo in the Imperial Army, that's gonna be super interesting to see. Sounds pretty nuts, right? Oh yeah. So anyway, we're gonna skip right past that. Oh, we are. Yeah, we're just gonna jump to the very tail end of it. All right, if you say so. I do. So then Han's gonna meet this guy Beckett who has a crew and they're gonna fly away from the war zone. Okay. But before that, Han's gonna get thrown into a jail pit thing and that's where he's gonna meet Chewbacca. Oh, Chewie, what's he doing there? Oh, he's being kept as a prisoner there and also he kills and eats people. What? Yeah, so he's gonna try to do that to Han. Wow, it's gonna be hard for Han to get out of that situation. Actually, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, it turns out Han can speak Chewbacca's language, so they become friends and escape together. How does Han speak Chewbacca's language? Because I wrote that in the script. But when did he learn that? When I wrote it in the script. Fair enough. So anyway, Han and Chewie are gonna go on a heist with Beckett and his crew to steal some hyperfuel coaxium stuff. Okay, but it's gonna go wrong and some of Beckett's crew are gonna die, like his girlfriend's gonna blow herself up. Wow, he must be devastated. He's barely gonna be affected by it. Oh, okay then. So then Beckett's gonna explain that they were actually stealing the stuff for this guy Dryden Voss and he's gonna be mad. Okay, so they're gonna go see him at this gangster place and Han's gonna run into Kira. His girlfriend Kira that he's doing all of this for? That's the one. So his whole motivation was to get a ship and fly back to her, but now she's there? Now she's there. Feels like you just messed up the emotional drive of the movie. Whoops. Whoopsie. So as it turns out, she works for Voss now. Oh, so earlier when you jumped forward 3 years, that was just so she could have time to join Voss's crew? You got me. I thought that was a weird time jump. Like, how was Han not able to get his hands on a ship for 3 years? Yeah, I just needed 3 years to pass for the story to work. Yeah, I see that now. So Voss is gonna want to kill Han and Beckett and Chewie, but they're gonna be like, wait, we can steal a bunch of unrefined coaxium for you. Okay. But Voss is gonna be like, first of all, that stuff explodes if you don't refine it fast enough, and second, I don't want this traced back to me in any way. Right? So they're like, well, we're not attached to you in any way, so it can't be traced back to you. Oh, that's smart. Yeah, so that sells him on it, and then he's like, take my second in command Kira with you. What? Yeah, he wants her to keep an eye on things. But you just said the whole thing is that he doesn't want it traced back to him. That's right. Feels like sending his second in command is pretty traceable. Well, I want her to be there though. Right, but you just said that. I know, but I want her to be there though. Well, okay, if that's what you want, it is. So then they're gonna go see Lando Calrissian because they need his ship. And he has this droid companion L3 who has a wacky personality. Okay, good. I was getting worried there wasn't gonna be a wacky droid in this movie. Yeah, and she's all about equal rights and freedom for droids. Very wacky. Yeah, and later she's gonna die and they're gonna kind of implant her consciousness into the Millennium Falcon. Oh my god, that's awful. No, it's gonna be kind of a sweet moment. The droid that was all about freedom gets her consciousness trapped in a ship for eternity. Right, isn't that sweet? It sounds absolutely horrifying from her perspective, like the last thing she would have wanted. Right, but we're gonna play it like it's a sweet thing. They made her into a prisoner. It's like something out of Black Mirror. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice moment. So anyway, they're all gonna go on another heist together. Very exciting. And the coaxium's about to explode, so they have to take a shortcut on the Kessel Run. Oh, we're gonna show the Kessel Run that Han was talking about in A New Hope. Yeah, instead of leaving it to the imagination, we're gonna show people exactly what happened and kind of take the mystery out of it. So how did it go down? Well, they run into a giant tentacle monster thing. Giant testicle monsters are tight. No, I said tentacle. Oh. And there's gonna be a black hole thing, and they're gonna have to escape the black hole thing and the monster. It's gonna be nuts. The monster lives next to a black hole? Yeah, I guess it does. I guess my questions are, why does it live there, and what does it eat if nobody passes through there? Right. Those are good questions. Thank you. So anyway, the characters are gonna... Oh, you're not gonna answer the questions. No, I'm not. So anyway, the characters are gonna go bring the coaxium to Voss. Okay. But then everyone's gonna betray each other, and Beckett's gonna shoot Voss's guards and run away with the coaxium. Why wouldn't he shoot Voss too? Because I want Voss to stay alive for a final fight. Right, but it doesn't make sense for Beckett to shoot the guards and not him. Yeah, but I want Voss to stay alive for a final fight. Well, okay then. So then there's a final fight and Voss dies. Right. And then we're gonna find out that Kira is evil because she has a Skype call with Darth Maul. Wait, what? Yeah, he goes by Maul now. I'm confused. So this takes place before Phantom Menace? No, he didn't actually die in Phantom Menace. Are fans gonna get that? Real fans will. We covered it in some animated stuff. But what about everyone else? They'll figure it out. He has robot legs that you could kind of make out. All right, well, cameos are fun, I guess. And then Maul's gonna ignite his dual lightsaber. Why would he do that? Well, the audience really liked that about him, so we're gonna show it. Right, but he's like Skyping with Kira, right? Yeah. And he just lights up his lightsaber to show her, I guess. Huh. So what do you think? Well, I mean, it's definitely a risk to make a movie about such a well-loved character. Well, if we're not taking risks, we're not doing anything worthwhile. Well, I gotta agree with you on that one.
Solo, Star Wars story. So I hope you guys like how I put that together with the time traveler, you know, who sees Solo and talks about it back in the 90s. That was a hilarious video. I'm gonna start incorporating those more as well. I know you guys have asked for them, so thanks for the suggestion, guys. Yeah, Solo wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, it was just you know, okay. So I went with a buddy to go see it. We were supposed to go see Deadpool 2, but it was sold out. So we saw Solo, and I was kind of bummed. But I left the theater like, oh, you know, it was a little bit of fun, but it's very forgettable because you don't even really think about it afterwards. So Honest Trailer kind of hit that on the nose. Like, you're going to forget about this movie once you get home from the theater. And that's literally how it was for me. So very forgettable movie. Has some good moments in it. Donald Glover does very well as Lando Calrissian. I liked the little end scene with Darth Maul. That was cool, a little nod, but I want to see more of that. Like, I bypassed all this other stuff with Solo. I'd rather see that. It was also cool seeing the rebellion like really start in the early stage. That was cool too. So there are little bits and pieces I liked in this movie, but overall very forgettable. They don't need to do any more like that. Forget the anthologies, continue Mandalorian and do some offshoots from that like they are with Boba Fett and the other Disney shows that they're starting to do. So I think they're going to do more shows than movies, you know, moving forward for the most part. They'll still do another trilogy, I'm sure. Don't know if Ryan George is still doing his trilogy or not, but let's slow down the movies and do more TV. I think that's where they'll do better, especially if Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are involved. Then it's going to be great. Those are just a few of my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on Solo, A Star Wars Story, whether it's the Honest Trailer or the pitch meeting, or even the Time Traveler in the Future is Dumb video, which is really, really funny. Ryan George just kills it. As always, if you subscribe, thanks so much for subscribing to my channel. It's been growing and I love it. Thank you guys for the support and coming back each and every day. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button right now. Go ahead, do it right now. We got a couple other spots you can do that. And join the On My Mind crew. You can give me suggestions on videos to watch. And we have different polls and different posts that come out that you can engage with. Before you go, check out some of our other Versus reactions. We got a whole playlist full of those videos and a lot of funny stuff. But check out one of our more recent ones, which was John Wick. That one was really hilarious. Check that out, really funny. And let me know what you think. But if you've seen all that, as always, I'll see you guys in the comments for this one.